Well guys, here we go. We have ourselves a bit of an unboxing and assembly video. Well, been wanting to get one for a while. Was gonna build one myself, get some tubing, bend it up, but of course with me, time is quite valuable. It's kind of in short supply as well, so sometimes you don't get around to building one and you find one on sale. So in front of us here we have ourselves a shop stool purchased from our wonderful Princess Auto. So guys, let's tear on into her here. Cutting the plastic. I've been wanting one for a while. Like I said, I was going to build one, but these have been in the flyer once in a while and I've always missed the sale. This time around I was actually on the ball and I was able to get one. So we got her open here. Grab a hold of the plastic wrapped item here, pull it out. The first thing you come across, of course, is the padding. I guess I'm assuming for the seat itself. Some nice instructions. Got ourselves the padding right here. We'll set that aside for now. Got ourselves what I'm going to assume is the bottom halo or ring, whatever you want to call her. We'll take that out of the plastic and set it aside. One of the little feet from the main support has come off, which is normal. I'm assuming because they were probably quickly assembled and then put in the box and it fell off. We can either press fit it back on, or failing that, we'll use some adhesive. So we have ourselves our main supports now. We'll just give that little foot a attempt to get put back on. And pretty much, there we go. We'll unwrap our main supports, get them out of the plastic. Okay, so I'm assuming this is your base here that you attach the cushion to the metal with, as well as your hardware screws. We'll cut into that as well. Looks like this one as well has ourselves a bit of a swivel to it as well, so you can possibly swivel around. And there's our bag of screws. Looks like we got bolts. Looks like we have quarter slugs here. Not quite sure what those are for. And we have ourselves a cheap little flat wrench and an Allen key or hex key for assembly, so it does include your basic tools. So we'll give the instructions a bit of a look over here, just to make sure we don't turn it into a bird bath over a stool. And she's a basic simple instructions here. You start by putting together the two legs in like a cross pattern. Drop the ring over top. You attach the base to the legs, turn it upside down, and attach the swivel base to the cushion itself. Basically, if you wanna, it's a 6-step process. So we'll start by cutting into the hardware pack here, exposing all the screws and bolts. Nowhere in the instructions does it say where to put these. I call them quarter slugs, but I do have 6 of them, so it's kind of weird you'd have an even number, but it's kind of weird. But I'll hang on to them for now. Maybe I'll use them in a vending machine, or I don't know, keep them for a while anyways. So we'll start by putting the legs together here. As you see here, the top one has an indent which goes in and down. And the bottom one there has an indent which goes in and up. So pretty much you just crisscross them here, and then she's ready for the ring to slide on over top. Now sometimes this is where it gets to be a little tricky, because when you go to slide the ring on, you got to make sure she's dead on, because sometimes they are a little bit too small and it does take a little bit of force. Okay guys, so we have the ring on the one set of legs. Time to put the second set of legs inside the first in the ring. Pretty much lift her up, drop her on over, and then drop her on down. Of course you got bolts here with like a little collar on them. That's so you can't over tighten them. We'll slide them on into the holes here. Give them a tighten on down. One thing I noticed on the hardware set here, there is 2 Allen wrenches or hex wrenches, because these bolts here have the Allen wrench or hex wrench head on both ends. So, you know, that way you don't need any tools of your own, because, well, they include them. So we'll drop this other bolt in. Give it, you know, finger tightness here. Then we can start spinning our wrenches. Now what I like to do when I'm tightening up something like this is kind of go around, start at one bolt, get her, you know, semi-tight, go around to the bolt that's directly across from it, get it semi-tight, then go around again across from it. Pretty much just repeat the steps until you have it sufficiently taut. I've seen shop stools that weren't assembled properly, the bolts weren't tightened. Over time they will come loose. And then of course when that happens, a bolt falls out, and usually people end up welding them, of all things. Which I guess works. It does an okay job. It's not something I would recommend, but I guess it if a welder is all you have on hand and you don't have access to bolts, then I guess it works. If these bolts do come loose on me over time, what I can do is put some Loctite on them. If I wanted to prevent that, I could put Loctite on them before I ran them in. Then that way, well, then that way they stay tight, right? So the next thing it calls for doing is attaching the swivel onto the stool. Now of course you got to take the swivel here, just give it kind of a half a turn, so the holes from the top plate are not lined up with the holes from the bottom. Basically when you're done, you know, this here would make a good starting point. So pretty much now what you're wanting to do is attach the swivel onto the base itself. And this is where the hex wrench as well as the flat wrench would come in handy. The base attaches on pretty much like that. Tighten her down and then away she goes. If you wanted to, you could probably switch out the tools they give you with actual tools, and that way would make the assembly process just a little bit more easier. Because the ones they give you are okay, they're just not super comfortable. So you take your hex wrench and your flat wrench, and we'll give these a tighten down. So I'll throw you in fast forward mode here, guys, because, well, y'all know how a nut and bolt goes together. Nothing really new is going to happen here or nothing. We'll just get these spun down and then we're good. Okay guys, so now you got those bolts you know, tightened on down. Time to throw the cushion onto the frame. Now if your workbench is like my workbench, it's dirty, full of sharp things, it'd be a shame now to poke a hole in this wonderful padding. So we'll turn this upside down. We'll locate our 4 bolts that it takes to do this. One thing I noticed in this kit is we have 3 bolts the same length and we have 1 shorter. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that or if they just ran out of bolts in the factory and just substituted one that was kind of close. So we'll give those holes a bit of a line up here. When they're close to being lined, we can run our screws in. Of course, same concept again. We'll just finger tighten these bolts here. Get all 4 in the holes. Now that all 4 are in the holes, we can just give them a tighten down. I like to tighten mine, of course, in the same crisscross pattern. And that way, if there even is a difference, that way she tightens down semi-straight, semi-normal. And of course, again guys, if this does work loose, we can put Loctite on these bolts too. Again, probably shoulda in the assembly process. I've thrown Loctite on them just as a precautionary measure, but hey, you know, if your bolts are tight, they shouldn't come loose under normal use, right? So now you got those semi-tightened down. We can give them the final tighten. I've seen people take these shop stools and throw away the cushion here. Of course, because sometimes they say something that you don't want them to say, whether you're a Chev guy and it says Ford, or you're a Snap-on guy and it says Mac Tools, or even Power Fist, and you want it to do something else. And what they do is they'll put an old tractor seat on this, and it kind of makes like a neat decoration for like your man cave or your garage or something. That's what I was going to do if I built one, but hey, you know, it's just quicker, cheaper, easier just to buy one than what it is to finally get around to building one, which may never happen. So I'll give these little feet a tap just to make sure they're fully attached, and then we'll do the final test. Well guys, there we go. We've done the final assembly on her. This stool stands about 30 inches off the ground. The top area here is about 12 inches across, so it should be big enough to sit on. It looks like a fairly sturdy frame, fairly well built considering the price point. And of course, it's a wonderful Princess Auto Power Fist brand, so it matches my some of my tools that I have already on hand. So of course, this has been an unboxing and an assembly of a Power Fist shop stool purchased from the Princess Auto. So as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.